What is up, Pokemon trading card game fans? Welcome to episode 169 of Special Conditions, the TCG podcast where our love for competing and collecting collide. Special Conditions is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is March 20th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Tuttle, and I am joined by my co-host, as always, Justin Keller, and we have a special guest.
Oh,
He's
did
in the
you
room.
say special guest? Oh, who already let him in?
The special condition? Oh, we already let him in. Shoot. It's Lane from Good Morning Johto.
Good morning, Johto. How are you guys?
We're doing fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big day. Today's great.
Yeah, and I'm far enough away. I'm actually over in the Kanto region.
I had a guy on a couple of days ago that he wanted to be from Unova. I'm like, you do you, man. Wherever you want to be from, that's great.
And I was like, I'm just in the mountains hanging out with delibirds. You know, that's pretty much what I do.
You know.
You're like the mountain hiker that just has a bunch of delibirds in the back.
Yeah, he's in Area 0, catching Iron Bundle.
Or I'm in the beginning of Sun and Moon Ultra, and I'm just in that one person's house that has all the delibirds running around in it.
I love it.
I don't know who or what that is, but I walked into that house and I was like, I'm never leaving.
This is
maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I haven't beaten it yet.
That's why you haven't completed the game.
I never left. I was just walking around with all the delibirds.
You're like, man, this game's great.
This game is great. Speaking of the game is great, Pokemon TCG Temporal Forces releases. I don't know the exact date. I should probably know that.
It's in like 2 days.
It's in
It's
2
the
days.
22nd.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Friday. So we're here. We brought some backup to talk about Temporal Forces and
Backing
just
up.
our thoughts on it.
Backing up.
I've already been selling it since Monday, so it's already been out.
No, I bought some at my local card shop. So
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that. Like, it freaks a lot of people out.
Yeah, I walked in there and I was kind of like, wait a minute, hold up, stop. Oh, okay, yeah, I know why you have that.
Because it
But
just
I
used
bought
to be
one of the
like
six
pre-release stuff, but now it's everything. Now they send everything.
Can I just hard stop for a second and just say how awful I don't like the packaging for the booster bundles?
I know why they did it though.
I know. It's like
Sure.
cost-wise, it folds. It's not bulky. Like
So
easier
this
to
is
recycle?
too. If you don't know who I am, I do a daily Pokemon Go show, but I also work at a Pokemon Play store, and I know more
Mr.
about
Fancy.
TCGs than I'll ever know. And then I've been learning Go, but TCGs has been my life for 16 years plus. But why they did it, I think, because booster bundles looked so close to the pre-release kit itself.
Oh, that makes 100% sense.
That's what when we got it, because I would have customers that like I couldn't put the products next to each other because they thought they were the same thing. And then
And so
they're
that caused
that's
me
the
not
thing.
to buy it because I thought that that's what that was. But then
Because
I
I think
realized it
it's
was
the
Paldean
best sealed
Fates and not
product.
Temporal Forces.
I think it's the best sealed product for your buck, right? Like I think booster
Yes.
bundles
Yep.
are the best. But yeah, everybody thought they were the pre-release kits.
I can totally see it. I've now I know trained eye, but the average person's not going to know.
Sure.
They're not going to know. How are they going to know? They'll never know.
I mean, it says set bundle or whatever on the side instead of pre-release, but people can't read.
So on
Dog.
today's show, we are going to go over a bunch of Temporal Forces cards. We're going to pick a card that we think is like the bee's knees and one that we don't think is very good at all. And then we're just going to talk about our favorite deck coming out of Temporal Forces. And it could just be the same deck. It could just be Chen Pao. You don't know until we get to that section.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Does Chin Pao get anything? I guess we'll find out.
It gets that new A spec.
I was gonna say it gets
Master Ball. You get to search for
Oh.
Pokemon faster. I'm just saying.
And
You got to get that
distinctly-
Baxcalibur somehow. All right. So, Lane,
Prime Catcher,
know-
end of show.
I know. End of show. Yep.
Those
That
A
is-
specs are great.
The A specs are great. I love the A specs because everybody thinks differently about these cards and thinks of different ways to utilize them. And I love that 99% of decks could all be like all Gen Pals are like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing Prime Catcher, and then one decides to play like the Knuckles or the Cape or the basketball or just something to improve consistency. You know what I mean? Just like that kind of stuff is wild.
It's one of those things you could almost have two different Shin Pao builds around two different ace specs, right? Like you could
Correct.
have,
Yep.
like that's so neat. Like that's so different.
And that's I think that's that in addition to having one of each, like one of only radiant Pokemon as well. So you have all these different like things you can only have one of. Like it makes for weird different style decks. And I think Lost Box probably gains the most to utilize out of both of those because you've got Radiant Greninja, you've got Radiant Charizard. Now this could lead to different radiant Pokemon being thrown in there. But then you've got all these different A-specs you can use.
Well, there's always been some
Wild.
radiance right on the cusp, right? Like there's
Right.
always been some right there, like Venusaur, right? Like Tassarini.
Yeah.
There's been some right there, Alakazam, and some weird like out there builds. But there's some like right there.
I just saw one in one of the builds that I was looking at. I was just checking out some Espartha lists, and I saw Alakazam, and I'm like, wow, okay, it's
That's what I'm saying.
and that's just like the best part about this game right now is that there's so many different ways to play, and everybody has their own play style. It truly is. Yeah, you can look at a list, but like for me, my brain works where I have to look at like 100 lists, and I have to pick which ones I think have the best synergy and the ones that build them or bring the most consistency. Like if I'm looking at an Espartha build and it's got a 1-1 Espartha, I'm not going with that one because that does not seem consistent to me. But if most have like a 3-3 line or a 4-3 line, like that's the route I'm taking.
But with one, you can just master ball for it, right? Like, is that just the thing? Like,
that's probably the A-spec they were using.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the like when I talk with TCG people and why like my brain has to be a little different on the business side because I have to think about it like money of value, right? Like if someone's selling me the cards, do I want to pick up If you've never heard of them, we've always heard it in the business called rotatos. That they're fresh and hot, they're right off the rotation, those rotatos, and like, do I want some things that just came off, or do I want like sleeper cards that I think will get better, like different radiants and everything. So some things like that are always looking at these weird lists that are popping up in the back.
Yeah, I will always take radiant Pokemon. Like if I see them and they're a steal, like 25 cents, 50 cents, I'm just going for it because
now, were radiants only
day,
in 2022 sets?
I know we still have Greninja because I looked to double check.
Right. But I'm just trying to remember, was it only that 1 year of sets?
I believe so.
Okay. Because I know they like to keep like things. Oh, this is this year. This is this year. It was like,
yeah.
Because then there was like, you know, battle styles kind of continued into from 2021 into 2022. Not really, but there was like some remnants from Japan. I didn't know if like
I think galleries were like that too. I always get mixed up on like which sets have galleries and which ones don't. That was always one that I get mixed up on. Yeah.
Alrighty, so what do you guys want to start with first? Do you want to start with decks or do you want to start with cards?
I think starting with the cards going into the decks.
Okay.
So you know the cards going into, right? Or vice versa. It's your show. I'm just here, man.
This is true, isn't it?
We will go to our friend Poke Beach.
Oh, we love this place.
Yes, we do. And so, where did it go here?
Oh, man.
We're going to not share that tab. It was the other Poke Beach tab.
Look at us.
Close some of these links.
We are efficient.
We are so smart. SMRT. Also, man, I'm always jealous whenever I look at this stuff about like the Japanese pack arts. I mean, like, look at that. Isn't that amazing?
That is stunning. And then you get the
you only get
effect.
one, but it's still pretty cool.
I also like that their hanger packs are cooler. I've always said that. Like that they already have like that you could just throw it on there. You don't have to like take the paper off. It's just right on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then you could just cut that with a pair of scissors and you're good, you know?
Well, in this Beach article, they start out with, some of the best cards in the set, right at the beginning. The ace specs like Master Ball. So actually, let's read Master Ball because I was trying to remember. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Okay.
Okay,
So,
now
yeah.
go to the other one.
Go to the what? The old
other
one?
ace spec, yeah. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. So I could technically still use my old Master Ball ace
That's what I
spec.
was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see why not. I don't know if there's an official ruling, but
I remember computer search being like $30. Like
I think it's around 40.
I
Pretty
just
sure.
remember that play during like the Night March era and everything. That card was just a bajillion dollars to get a hold of for one.
Yes. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you can't discard 2 cards, you can't play this card, but search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. That's phenomenal. Imagine that in Ancient Box. Imagine that in United Wings, Mad Party. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Lost March. But yeah.
well, yeah, and that's why everyone plays Pidgeot EX. I say everyone. That's why it's so good in Charizard because you just search for whatever you want.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you could be Roxanne to 2 cards or 3 cards or whatever it is, and you just go search for a Professor's Research, get back in the game. Like, Pidgeot is amazing.
While we're at it, let's look at these other old ace specs that probably weren't used that much.
So certain ones like this was very
specific to White Kieran.
specific. Yes. Yeah. So when we start, we're gonna get to a point where we start seeing stuff like that.
G-Booster, only for Genesect EX.
Yes, but read this.
Grass, colorless, G-Booster, 200. Discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon. Wow, it's a shred.
It's a shred, and basically 200 was enough to knock out anything back in the day.
Because this was what, 2013? Oh yeah, for sure.
So G-Booster actually saw play, and I believe when I went to Montreal regionals or something forever ago, I played Genesect Leafeon, which
with a G-Booster?
Yes, which I believe did actually make Worlds. I think it's Andrew Estrada, I want to say.
You can say whatever. I'll believe you.
I mean, there's
around.
a Worlds deck, and I have it. I just don't know 100% whose it is. But essentially, the one ace spec you want from this set is Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher is going to be the new computer search until we get something like computer search. Switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to the active spot. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So this is cross switchers.
But instead of needing one card.
But instead of needing 4 copies in your deck to guarantee that you get 2 in your hand at a given time, you just play the 1. So naturally, it fits into Chen Pao.
Yeah. It fits into literally any deck.
Any deck.
You could make it work in anything. And, have you seen the price on this? Now, we haven't had official release yet, but
that's what I was gonna say. I keep wondering what the prices will.
I think it'll go down. It'll like probably settle around like $10.
I'm hoping it settles around it because right now it's like 25, 30.
I think like a 4
that's the thing.
Price
Not a lot of people have opened up boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Drew, he sent me a picture. He was opening up some packs. He pulled the ancient drum. So it's like, okay, people are opening up boxes, but we just have to wait and see.
And they stopped doing the build and battle stadium.
Oh, good. They were they were a hard sell for us.
I always enjoyed them because no one could sell them, so I just got them at a deep discount.
And that's it. They would always go in our discount rack of like, because people would look at it and they were more for players, not collectors, because they're like, I'm getting so much more product than packs, where I could just buy packs.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. And so here's the build and battle, we were talking about earlier. Did you guys do one of these? And I know, okay, Adam, I know you did. Lane, did you facilitate one?
I worked the cup, and I had a cup the same weekend as our pre-release, so I worked the cup instead.
Do you get any of the staff cards?
If I want them, that's the usual. If it's kind of there. I know one guy. What was it? It's played in Lugia. It's like Arkella. What's the bird fossil thing?
Archeops.
That's the one
Markella.
everybody, all the employees are like, okay, that's the one we want. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So no, we have them. I got a stack, but we just got 'em in the
Cool.
back.
Yeah.
The cup playmats are sweet. Do you guys do you grind cups or do you have like a stack of cup playmats?
I have not done a cup yet. It just hasn't worked out with
We
my
have one junior that
schedule.
just racks them up because you get one for each age, and if
Yes,
there's just
yep.
one for your age range, she's like, this 9-year-old's like, this is freaking sweet. I get these every time. By
Good
myself.
for them. Good for them.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
It's only like if you win, right?
Well, it's if you're in that age. So
Yeah, so if they're the
usually-
only junior.
if they're the only
Yeah,
junior,
no,
they
that's
get it.
funny. Because if Ashton went to the challenge that I was at, there were no juniors.
Yep.
Because there was only one senior. So it was like he would have been first place. The senior was in first place. And then it was up to the other people to decide what position.
I think I have a junior from Canada that he drives 8 hours for every cup and chat, or every cup at least that he's qualified for
Everyone, not just like
everyone. They're trying to get travel stipend. I talked to the mom because I thought they were local. Literally wild. And I'm like, oh yeah, is that your son? I haven't seen him around. She's like, oh, we're from Canada. And I go, wow. Like, and she goes, yeah, we already there. She's like, through regionals, he qualified for worlds, but now we need travel stipend. So now we're grinding all these little cups to get those extra points and stuff. But yeah, I think he was junior division. I don't think he was
senior.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I don't remember the age cutoff. Is it 12?
It's 12 or 13. I think it's 12.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way this kid was above 12.
Oh, that's not the right one.
It's Justin's face.
All right. So, yes. The pack arts. What do we think about the pack arts?
I think they're fine. I mean, you can't have, there's
Walking Wake.
There's the 3 dogs and the other 3 cats, I guess.
Do you guys ever get like one of each, or I'm gonna get all of the one art? Never.
Nope, I don't care about
I
that at all.
have in the past, but I'm terrible at it. I'm
We
terrible
have that.
about
I have
opening.
people that want to pick their own. I have people that want to like weigh each one, or like they want to feel if one's heavier than the other. We get those.
You let people weigh them? Oh my gosh.
With their hands. If they,
okay.
I think they
okay.
look great. Like if they're just sitting there, like, oh, this one.
That's
and then
some
you're
high-
like, I'll take that one. Now that you've
Some
pulled
high
all the
quality
stuff that's
entertainment
not, yeah, that's not the good stuff.
All right. So, who has a card and wants to go first?
I might have a card. I
And
might
that
want to
card
go
would be-
first. I might want to go first. So
You know, Delibird's not in this set.
I know, but Iron Bundle's not
I was gonna say,
either.
and then a hand bundle.
So, for me, like the deck I want to talk about is Ancient Box, but
Okay.
we won't get there yet. But we're talking about cards.
Mhm.
As far as like card I absolutely love is Roaring Moon.
That card's good.
Ancient. You know what I
I was
mean?
just
'Cause
saying,
it's,
like the one that's good right now.
Yeah. Okay. Let me pick the right one. Roaring Moon. Do you want to read it?
yes. Okay. So
Oh,
it's a basic Pokemon. Okay. B, it has 140 hit points. Okay.
wild.
Second off, for 2 dark energies, Vengeful Feathers. This attack does 10 more damage for each ancient card in your discard pile, which at first glance you're like, but it does 70 damage as its base. That's half
pretty
its
good.
own hit points. All you need is 7 other ancient cards in your discard pile to one-shot account like an opposing Roaring Moon. That make that that's insane, because you got to think United Wings. That's 20 times each one in the discard. This is adding 10 damage for every ancient card. And you've got Ancient Drum. You've got 4 copies of this. You've got Koraidon. You've got Slitherwings. You've got Professor Sada's, whatever that thing is. And then there's Explorer's Research. You play 4 copies of that. That literally lets you look at the top 6 cards of your deck and then keep 2 and discard the rest. If you needed 40 damage to knock out the opposing Pokemon, you just go oh, there's 4 ancient cards in my hand. I'll just take the other 2 and discard those, and then I knock you out.
Yeah,
It
that's
is very strong. It's very consistent, and it's very fun. I enjoy this a lot because then you have 4 of the earthen vessels, and you could just discard an earthen vessel to go search for energies.
Do you know why I'm excited about this card? Because I'm
Why?
building Roaring Moon EX, and I can slot this right in.
That is true.
Yeah, could
But
be
how
fun.
much damage can you do? Do you have enough?
Really, it's just for. It's not that I'm trying to do a lot of damage. It's if I need to, to hit something, or attack a weaker Charmander or something in the active instead of.
Or I think in like a pricing situation as well, where you're like, I want to give up less prize and try.
Right.
That makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Like put this up front because I think in what you putting this is so like where I think like looking at new lists, I think we're getting back to like a good single prize meta of like EXs. We're losing a lot of Vs. We still didn't lose all of them, right? But we still
Right.
have a lot of like big 2 prize basics, even with some EXs. But,
Yeah, like
looking at
Arceus is still in the format, and that's threatening.
Yeah, I said like Lost Box being around forever is just another just slog fest, but it's one of those like showing all these 1 prizers that could really do some damages. Like this thing's
Yeah,
great.
and then Speedwing, for nobody's really gonna use this, but if you need to, for a dark and 3 colorless, it does 120 damage. It's weakness to grass and to retreat. I'm very excited about this card.
It's a pretty good card.
And then a card that I'm not excited about is Fluttermane, because I'm trying to keep it within the theme of the deck. So Fluttermane, it's just as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities except for Midnight Fluttering. It's okay,
This is the ETB
but
promo as well.
yes, but it doesn't, like, the attack's okay. It's got 90 hit points. It's psychic for 3 colorless hex hurl. It does 90 damage, and you basically put 3 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. That's actually pretty good, but that ability just seems very underwhelming because it's such like a strong like gotcha at the beginning of the game. But if
I mean,
if the opposing player is playing Iron Bundle, they just throw that on the bench and they move it away, and you can't use it now your active Pokemon can do whatever it wants. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's so easy to get this out of the active. It's so easy to play around this.
Oh, you know what? It reminded me of a card that I'm kind of sad to lose. Escape Rope.
I still don't even know what we're losing yet. I know it's E, but every time I look it up, I can't find it. So
Battle
I'm like, whatever.
Styles, Chilling Rain,
Fusion Strike.
Fusion Strike. No, not Fusion. Yes, Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies.
Do we lose do we lose Go or anything too?
No, Go is the next year. We lose Celebrations. Is that right? No, that might have been the year before.
They all run together for me. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a special set in there somewhere that we lose.
Like Crown Zenith is the one I love the most out of like all the like last ones.
I think it is Celebrations that we're losing.
Justin Basil did do a good rotation article on his site there, and it just kind of shows off, what we're losing. We're losing Battle VIP Pass. We are losing.
Is there? Which one do you want me to click on?
The noteworthy losses. And it just kind of gives you like highlighted what's the biggest, and it's essentially
all the Urshifus.
Yep.
Rapid Strike Energy is gone. Well, I mean, all the rapid stuff's gone. Avery, that came up when I went to locals yesterday.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at like Curlia, the one that lets you go get the other Curlias.
Path to the Peak is going to be a game changer about being gone.
It's huge.
Yep. Clara, Fog Crystal.
Because I mean, now Pidgeot EXs are going to not be shut off. How are you going to stop abilities
Marip
besides
just
knocking them out?
I was going to say Blissey V, but that hasn't been a deck in like 8 months.
Yeah.
No.
Blissey
Fog Crystal leaving is big.
That's huge. Mew,
I'm sad Umbreon
Celebrations.
is leaving just because I love Umbreon.
Kyogre celebrations, Mew, Genesect, VMAX. Like those
Oh,
are the
Kyogre
big.
Celebration's a big one because, it did so well for so long.
Yeah.
Then there's just the entire Mew VMAX deck is gone.
Yep. Finally. Now, Drapion, what do you do now?
Nothing.
Drapion's still in the
Absolutely
format.
nothing.
That's the wild part. Is like that stayed, but Mew's left.
All the V unions are gone. Professor Burnett is gone. That's a big deal for Lugia.
That is, yeah.
The V unions are one of those things that just popped up randomly. That like when someone figured out how to really run it, like it would pop up. Except like Mewtwo every now and then.
Oh, and then
Yeah,
even
I mean,
go
We
through
lose
here
them
and-
because they rotated in the main set. Okay.
Yeah. These are like reprints and everything.
I'm telling you, I'm big on Crown Zenith. I play the crap out of that Rotom VMAX
Yeah.
or whatever. I think that card's sick.
yeah. And then as far as like a list goes for Ancient Box, I just kind of, I shared the link there with Justin.
Adam, which one?
Honestly, just any of them that don't have an EX. Honestly, something with Slitherwings, because I feel like Slitherwings, regardless, is a necessity.
Okay, so this one? Wait.
Yeah, because I don't see anything.
There we go. This is Poke
So the second one, Poké Book. So in testing, I played with the Lunatonian. If you're watching, good games. We played some real life over Discord matches. And I've learned that Slitherwings is a necessity. You need to have something fighting to be able to counter their Iron Hands. Because if they're taking 2 prize cards, you need to be able to take 2 prize cards in the counter.
What does Slitherwings do? Do you remember?
For 1 energy, you discard the top card of your opponent's deck. For 2 energies, it does 120 and then 90 to itself. Sounds like it's a lot, and it is. But you really just need it to be able to do that. And then if they don't knock you out and you have the Ancient Booster Capsule, you can gain 60 hit points, so you can attack with it again. But something that came up and it was scary is that does leave you vulnerable to a Lost Vacuum knockout, and then they bring up Iron Hands, take another 2 prize cards. So it's a 3 prize card loss if they do something like that. So be very careful when playing Slitherwings, but it's necessary. Like, you need it. I personally don't have the Great Tusks in mine, but that's because I also don't own a Great Tusk right now.
So I had to look it up. The Awakening Drum, the ace spec here, says draw a card for each your ancient Pokemon in play.
So max, you can have a 6.
You could draw like there is no.
Yeah, and that's just an item. You just play it.
Draw 6. That's wild.
Yeah. So having that card in the deck is huge, because like even if you only have 2 ancient Pokemon, I mean, I would just play it regardless. Just get that draw and just continue your turn. It's so good.
Yeah, it's real
It really
crazy
is.
because I was thinking like if let's say you do have a full bench, what are you wanting to draw, right? Like, what am I wanting to set up? Because all of these are basic,
Earthen Vessel,
right?
to be able to discard your excess supporters, because that's typically what it is. Once you get to a point where you're like drawing into extra Earthen Vessels and extra Explorers, because once you get rid of, like, if you play like 1 or 2 of those, you should be only holding on to your Professor Sadas, because you need to get the energies, and then you're just drawing cards to draw them at that point. So realistically, you just play Ancient Drum whenever you get it. I mean, if you can get another Pokemon down, make that happen and then use it. But if not, just use it.
Well, you have that's some type of catcher next to it, right? Boss's
Is
orders.
that
Yeah,
counter
it's counter
catcher?
catcher. It's
Yeah.
counter catcher. Yep. So there's counter catchers, boss's orders, and honestly, playing against Iron Hands is scary. Future Box is terrifying.
You talk about a
Because
sleeper. Iron Hands went from like it was huge when it got announced, right? People were like, "Man, this
Yeah.
card's good." Fell down, and now like I think it shot up in price again too. I think it's
It
priced
did. It did. It's
skyrocketed.
almost like $14 right
Yeah.
now. It was
Oh,
like
man.
a $6-7 card, and it was
I think I bought
slowly
mine at
creeping
$8.
down. It was slowly creeping down, and then it was like, oh, that deck's a thing. You need 4 copies.
Mhm.
Yep, we're $14. And so you can see the consistency within these. There's a lot of.
Are these all different versions of the same
They're
deck?
all different. Yep, they're all different lists. These are all like, I think they're first place or top 8, something like that. Because
Mhm.
4 Fluttermanes.
see,
Is
that just
that's what you
doesn't do
want.
it. Yeah, but that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Like what does
Oh.
Fluttermane do against this deck? It does nothing. Because Roaring Moon doesn't use it. Slitherwings doesn't use it.
Oh, now we're talking 2 Roaring Moon EX.
Ah, no, we'll just put that. Yeah, we'll get that.
I was
out
gonna
of
say
here.
this
Alright.
looks like its own different deck at the same time too.
Yes, and I think because you're playing a couple more dark patches, because the other one just plays 1.
Sure.
My list only has 1 in it.
Oh,
I
this
don't
plays
feel-
Prime Catcher because you're going
Yep.
for the big KO.
And I don't even think you're going like you don't need all of the dark energy. Like the Professor Sada really does the work for you, and it's crazy. If you go second, you literally can play. You can use Earthen Vessel, discard a fighting. Okay, you can attach a fighting to Slitherwings. You can use Professor Sada's, attach that fighting to your Slitherwings, draw 3 cards, and then knock out their Iron Hands. So it is literally a catch-22. Like Iron Hands is so scary, but also
I forgot Iron Hands is weak to fighting.
yeah, Iron Hands is like Future Box is so scary, but at the same token, Ancient Box is also so scary because of how fast it can turn out.
I really like just even in the the build and battle format. I like the Great Tusk. I can't remember what the first attack does. Do you remember?
No, but that's why I believe it discards cards off the top of your opponent's deck.
Oh, this is
It
the
does.
mill
That's
one. There's
the
2
one
different
I
ones.
sent you, Justin.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll look at that here in a minute. What is the? Oh, this is the Pokemon Go slow, bro. Okay.
Yeah, so that's if your opponent has exactly, or if you have exactly 1 prize card left, you just draw a prize card and win.
Iron Bundle.
Iron Bundle, look at that. But that's a future Pokemon in an Ancient Box. What is going on?
Oh, just wait. And then we get to the Cleffa, Pidgeot V.
Yeah, I just can't see
Spiritomb.
like this
What
stuff
is
bothers me
this?
so much. I get it, but it's like there's text and I just can't handle it. My
Yeah.
brain.
Nope.
just-
Can't. Nope. All right.
But
we
I think
we gotta
something
stop
to
looking,
note-
or Adam will go crazy.
I know. Something to note though, Lost Vacuum should be in every single deck. Because
So good.
Ancient Booster Capsule is a thing. Future Booster Capsule is a thing, and that's so scary. You were literally they have free retreat, and they do 20 more damage, and they can attack for 1 energy with Baby Miraidon.
Hmm.
And then
It's
if they have
crazy.
Iron Crown, that does an extra 20 damage over and over and over again.
That's the real scary card.
Listen,
That's one of the cards I was
like-
gonna bring up.
You can't even play Charmander right now. If Charmander comes out and they Miraidon you, I mean the math works out. If it's 70, it's harder to hit that, but they base is at 40. So if they just get out that tool and they get a basic crown out, they one-shot your Charmander. It's
Not little Charmander.
Man.
What did
I'm
he
just
do?
saying it's a very volatile format right now. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's scary. Cuz it's like you can see the future if you're playing the past, you know? No,
Dog.
I'm just messing with you. No,
My
but
brain, you imploded.
no, but
it.
like if you're like prize mapping, if you're prize mapping and stuff, like you're looking at it and you're like, wow, if I don't take this knockout right now, I effectively lose.
So he brought it up. I thought I figured I'd at least show the card. Iron Crown EX. It has the ability Cobalt Commander. No, who knows what it'll be called in English. Your future Pokemon attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's really why you're playing it. And then let's see, what is the other attack? Psychic Colorless, Twin Shotels. Stack does 50 damage to your opponent's Pokemon. Is it affected by weakness or resistance?
This is probably what I want to play.
Or
This
by
is
any
the deck,
effects
like,
on those Pokemon.
This one looks sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been
It's-
into like Dragapult like effects like this, like
Yeah.
being big into like spread out damage. That's what I like.
I just like how shiny this looks.
And it resists fighting.
Oh man, the
Double
resistance like
dark.
never.
But it's weak to
comes
dark, so
weak
this
to
is
dark.
actually something. So Roaring
Yeah.
Moon totally takes this. All you need is a counter catcher and just boom.
Sure. I think it does play something else too, or maybe it's just the main Iron Crown.
All right, so a card I wanted to bring up just because I think it's cool is basically the whole Metagross line. Beldum, it's nothing special, but Matang with the ability Metal Maker once during your turn. You may look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Choose any number of basic metal energy you find there and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. Shuffle the other cards, put them on the bottom of your deck. So you could set up 4 of these and do 4 of these at once if you wanted.
I thought this was just like once when you evolved it, and that was it.
No.
I got this played against me at pre-release, and it was just like 1 Matang, 2 Matang, 3 Matang, and they just was like, look at the top 4, attach. Look at the top 4, attach. Look at the top 4, attach.
Adam, you know what you played this in?
Dialga.
Yeah, I know you love Dialga.
I just traded for more Dialgas. Because if anybody that is not following along,
Fraudulent. Yeah.
well, I mean, it could be okay. Maybe.
I like the idea.
I just saw a list on Twitter that won something, so I will say that there's definitely potential. It just who knows. But if anybody doesn't know, I spilt water on my playmat, but like a very little bit, like tiny little bit. But because the playmat is like porous, or I don't know, the water basically just like expanded and spread all throughout it, and my deck was upside down on top of it, and it seeped into like the top 4 cards, which all were Dialga. It was 2 of the box Dialga promos, and then 2 of the promo V stars. I was so upset.
Time to double sleeve.
Yep.
Double sleeve
it up.
All right, Justin. What else are you thinking?
What else am I thinking? Well, I also got to say something that I don't like. I think I don't love Raging Bolt, how it plays. I just think the lightning fighting is just a weird combination. So, Raging Bolt, it's a basic 240 HP. It's Dragon type. It's the Ancient Raikou. It has its first attack, you're not really going to use Bursting Roar, discard your hand, draw 6 cards. Second attack, Lightning Fighting, Extreme Ascent, 70 damage times. You may discard any number of basic energy attached to Pokemon in play to 70 damage for each card you discarded this way. So, I mean, it sounds good in theory, but...
It does. It does sound good in theory. I played this in my pre-release deck and immediately understood how bad it was. because everything else was so much better.
It just reminded me, like, didn't Reggie Drago have like a weird, like...
Yeah, it was fire and grass.
No, that was Rayquaza. Mega Rayquaza? Or VMAX?
No, fire and grass, wasn't
Rayquaza, maybe Dragar? I don't know.
Hey, it was just a weird mix-up. That's all I know.
Yeah, and it's got a 3 retreat. I will say, and one of my favorite cards, though, is not that one. This.
Ooh.
This is definitely going into my must collect list.
The Drampa is the one I liked. I really like the Drampa.
I like Altar.
Anything that looks like kind of like a dinosaur, kind of looks like Jurassic period.
It literally looks like Jurassic Park. I want to go da 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 da
da da da. Yeah, it's got the lightning in the background. It's incredible. It looks like a long neck. I love the stupid cloud around its face.
I was gonna say I just never understood the cloud.
You don't have to.
It's there.
It's just to say he's in that layer in the atmosphere.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be playing this deck, but I'm definitely collecting that card.
I want to see the gold future, like those down there, because I really like the teal ones they did for like the Chiyu and stuff like that for the last ones.
Yeah,
thought those were
I'll
cool.
have to see some of these in
Yeah.
person. Like this one looks a little too orangey yellow for me, like the Raging Bolt.
I think it's gonna be like gold.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't do the teal yellow ones this time.
Those
If that's
look,
what you're
man,
talking about.
I think they just look so good.
Yeah, why did they not do that? That's
Unless they
that's
did, and
weird.
then
Like,
it
why
just hasn't
change the
been.
format?
Maybe they have. They just had the image hasn't released yet. But I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, and as far as a deck goes, let's see here.
Let us know in the chat if you or just send us an email and just let us know what decks you are looking forward to.
So you're gonna say ew gross, but I just
Ew,
like
gross.
this. All right.
I only said that because you said I would say that.
You're like, this is your tail lost box.
So it's
Cinccino.
Lugia.
And look at that, they're playing the old Master Ball, so you can use it. I'm gonna dig that out later.
Oh snap!
I'm
You
gonna
know,
put that-
there's a few reasons why I like it. My first regional, I played Lugia because it was right when Silver Tempest was brand new and everyone was forced into it. So I begrudgingly played it. And, I enjoyed playing it. And so now it's like, even though it's, a year and a half later, I'm like oddly nostalgic for playing Lugia and want to play it again.
Sure.
you should totally play it.
Man, I don't know if you guys know what Cinccino does, but it's wild. It does the better 70 times than Raging Bolt. It does, for 2 colorless, 70 times each special energy attached to this Pokemon. So, Archeop's thing is ramp all the special energy into play. So, I mean, if you get 4 on there, that's 280. You're knocking out a lot of stuff.
You're knocking out most EXs.
Yeah.
And then if you ramp in a double turbo, you're knocking out Charizard EX. You're literally knocking out everything. So it's wild the numbers you can hit with this deck.
What did it lose from before? I don't even notice. Like,
Lose Burnett.
Yeah, it lost Burnett. And it kind of like shifted. Yeah, that like this will be a better version of Lugia because of Cinccino than what it was before. So also, I think it's kind of wild that people are playing Great Ball in a meta deck and not just for the lulz.
Listen, did you see there was on Twitter? I forget who was playing, but they played Great Ball and it got them a support. I don't know. It was a supporter that it got off there, and then they did Pokestop and it got them Greninja. I was like, what? PTCG live, let's go.
That's hilarious.
Eesh.
Yeah, so this deck looks like it could be a monster, and
it already
I'm
is
here
a
for
monster.
it.
Have you seen what Lugia looks like?
Yeah, well,
but how cute is Cinccino?
Very cute. It also has a special art, which let's see. Let me pull up the special art.
I was gonna say I want to see the special art for it.
Yeah, let's see.
Literally, I'll play a deck just for like aesthetic purposes. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that's
yeah, look
gorgeous.
at this. It's so cute. It's got all the sparklies. It's got the little Meryl right there. It's got
Skitty. Substitute.
Yep. It's very cute.
Wow. And what's the Minccino have?
Same
hobbling
scene, just making a mess.
love it. And
Okay.
Child making a mess. Oh, this is the Drampa you were talking
yeah,
about. Oh, wow.
it looks sick. Never ending story on Grandpa.
It reminds me of like a Studio Ghibli film.
It does. I don't know why. I did this with Steelix not too long ago, like with the building stuff. But I really like this Grandpa a lot.
Oh, I love that Steelix. It's a great card. I need to get that. Reminds me, I need to like buy it.
I would love to get a flow label of that for Pokemon
Oh,
from TGA.
speaking of flow label, should we take a quick breaky break?
We should totally take a break.
Video watchers will still be here.
We will still be here.
All right.
And what?
I said, are you going to announce the break?
Oh, Okay, yeah, there's a break. It's happening right now.
Do I need to pause my thing?
No, don't pause.
No. Don't pause.
Okay.
I
Good.
just make a note in the thing.
Matty G in the chat says, I have no cards. Why do you not have cards?
I don't buy cards anymore. I haven't in like a year. I only do live because I don't. We run the tournaments right, so if I'm there, I'm usually like in charge. So I have to play mostly on live.
Yeah, I mean, it
Because-
makes sense for you. You're around it all the time.
Yeah, and we do a monthly league where you can bring in the stuff. Like I play one tournament, like so 4 rounds is over a whole month. So I could like play my league on a Monday or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like what we do, I guess. But you got the whole week to play your league games.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's how the employees play. But no, I mostly just play live or with people, like at work.
That's cool. At least you're still in the game, so you still understand it. That's all that matters.
Well, we have to. It's part of the like. It's the worst part. It's part for the job. Like that's like
That's
right?
the
Like,
worst part. And you're
not the worst.
Oh
It's
my
part of the
God.
job. Like I have to know because we have people that are like, "Hey, what's good? What can we do?" You know what I mean? Like, what should I buy if I'm buying a meta deck or something or what? Like,
You get
All right.
a
Should we-
four copy of Matang.
One-
Should we come back?
All right. And we are back. Thank you all so much for that break. Audio listeners, we appreciate it very much. And really quickly, this episode of the Special Conditions podcast is brought to you by the Grading Authority. TGA offers an innovative card grading experience with a focus on collectors and community. Visit tgacards.com to learn more and to be sure to check out their slab designer and Pokemon Flow labels to see for yourself what makes the Pokemon Professor Network proud to be a TGA partner. Use code FULLHEAL, no spaces, at checkout for 10% off your total order. Thank you again to the team at the Grading Authority for supporting the Special Conditions podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Speaking of that, I've got 2 grades. Ah!
Are you gonna do them?
I'm going to do them. So the first I had, this one. I had a base set Pikachu in my binder from my childhood, and I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what's going on. And the back, it doesn't look the greatest.
Mhm.
There's some whitening around the edges.
Sure.
So
I'm gonna guess 4.
I'm like, I hope it's good. So I'm like, I hope it's better than a 1.
Oh, is this a shadowless?
I believe so.
yeah.
So
5.5.
what is it? Oh, it's a 5? 5.5. It's excellent plus shadowless red cheeks error. Oh, so it's
yeah.
the error one.
Nice.
Okay.
I was
That
gonna
makes
say
sense.
that does look like a red cheeks. Yeah.
So is that a more rare one?
Yes.
yes.
What?
You want the red cheeks.
You want
Okay,
the red
because
cheek.
that was in my binder.
I think it's actually worth a little bit.
Yeah.
But as a 5.5?
Wow.
As a red cheeks, I think someone would take it like bent in half. I've seen probably like 2 in the last couple years. Like it is one like you always check, right? You always like, okay, like, is this the red cheeks? Most of the time, it's not.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's cool. I'm gonna set that off to the side now. And then this one, these I found in my binder that I have just like a bunch of different Pikachus. I have like a Spanish one, like a bunch of different like I was just like kind of in awe. I'm like, I have this one that's first edition. I looked very closely and I was like, if it doesn't look like it's in good acceptable condition,
Sure.
I wouldn't get it graded. And so then I came across something like this, and this is like,
What even is that?
It looks like
lit-
a tops, but
I still don't even know. Like I looked it up. It's got this on the back.
Still don't know what it
For
is.
the audio listeners, it is a Pocket Monsters #1 surfing Pikachu.
I'm sure the label.
Literally,
will
it
tell you.
feels like a sticker, so I'm not 100% sure. But it looked like it was in good condition. So,
8.5.
oh my God, can I get it
I
away
just
from
want to
my
see what
light?
it says.
1998 Pocket Monster Surfing Pikachu. One Sealed Ass Fancy Graffiti.
Near mint to mint plus. Wow. That's super cool. Very excited about that one. Just because, like, I saw it and I was like, wow, that card looks rare. All right, but that's it. That's all I got.
Those red chicks are sweet.
Ah. Do you know what Sealed Ass is?
No.
Tell me.
It's a sticker.
So it is a sticker.
So I could have just peeled that.
Here, I'm going to share this real quick.
It wouldn't be an A5. It's like the Ditto sticker.
Gotta stick them all. CGC trading cards now grading Bondi Sealed Ass. Anyways, so CGC, not important. But it's talking about how the Sealed Ass were... couldn't purchase the collectibles in store like Card S before. Could only be purchased through vending machines set up in various locations across Japan.
Wow.
You could purchase one for about 14 cents or 5 cards for 71 cents. Each sticker contains one original 151 Pokemon. That reminds me. Do they have all these here? I need to look to see if there's a Arcanine that I don't have.
Oh, jeez. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't know what this was.
Yeah, I've never seen one before.
Well, look
I've
at that.
seen
There's a
some weird
Cubone there. Did you see the Cubone? Okay, click that real quick. Does it expand it? Look at that.
Mini stickers.
Karakara.
Karakara.
Sandpan. Digoa.
Karakara.
Doug Trio. Sand. Oh, I love that one. It's sand.
And then Sandpan.
Sandpan.
Wow.
Wow.
That's weird how Doug Trio is just Doug Trio.
Sometimes it just doesn't change.
Huh. Cool. Well.
All right, Lane.
I was gonna say, is it my turn now? Or do we want to go?
It is your turn.
The card I love that I want to play, I think it's going to be Gengar EX.
Ooh, Gengar EX, the spooky Pokemon.
Because there was a few ones I liked out of this one, and I really like one. You still get Dark Patch. I really like that, and we still like. I've really liked like Darkrai V. I thought that deck was so fun. This last.
All right, Lane, read this. Tell us what it does.
I was gonna say, Justin, move this click. Corroding Curse is the ability for a 310 HP Dark type Stage 2. Corroding Curse, the ability whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on it. Trick Step for 2 Dark, deal 160, and you may move 1 energy from your opponent's active to one of their benched Pokemon. I think I just like shenanigans like this. I think these are real shenanigans. Lugia kind of gets around some of the stuff with the Archeops, right? Because it says from hand. But moving some of the stuff around, I think, is cool.
But imagine Chen Pao.
Ooh, look at the far.
Oh, man, I didn't see that art. Okay. Yeah, let's see.
I have 6 energies in my hand. Let's just dump them all into my Chen Pao. I set myself up for a knockout.
It's one of those. I like the energy moving around a lot. Like it can mess with stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
And just still having Dark Patch and other stuff to kind of like back it up. Like, because I think there's a lot of cards we can really like in a vacuum. Like I like Torterra EX.
Oh my gosh.
But this also has a fighting weakness too.
Also, this is more of a question for Adam, but hasn't Gengar mostly been psychic? It's only like I know the VMAX was dark, but wasn't that like the first time it really being dark?
Yes.
Okay. So we're now 2 for 2 with it being dark.
Because now when they changed like the way that they did everything, they took away fairy types. They said like poison and ghost would be dark type.
Ah. Okay, I didn't realize there was
because that was part of some sort of discussion. I forget where that was located, but hey, I just pulled that Bianca.
There's another card I wanted to show that's tangentially related. Is this Morty's Conviction has a Gengar on it? Look how cute.
And it's doing its shadow thing where it's
I was gonna
like
say it's coming
there's a
from the
shadow
ground
on the
like that.
ground and it's coming right out of it. That's
And
so cool.
do you think that Pidgey right there is a ghost? It looks a little
I think it's
white.
pooping his pants.
I think it's dead.
Actually, the card I hate is right before this card. If we want to cover that one,
Oh, this one? Oh my.
I am gonna get so tired of playing against this card. It's one of those why I hate it. It's kind of like boss's orders where you're
All
like,
right, do you hate the effect or the art?
the effect, the art. I love whatever. No, it's like boss's order. They're like, okay, if you have a boss's orders, I lose the game, right? And I think with this, in so many different lists I've looked at, where they just play this, so it's a trainer, Eerie, supporter. Look at your opponent's hand, choose 2 items you find there, and discard them. I've seen this in some lists. I think it's just going to get annoying to be like, and then they know your hand.
But, yeah. Doesn't this go in your Gengar deck when you want to be disruptive?
I want to do it against people, not myself.
Ah.
Yeah, but like they'll take away your rare candies and you won't be able to do anything.
Oh.
Yeah, like if I bosses order someone else, awesome. If they bosses orders me,
Not awesome.
like that's the big part.
Yeah. Oh man, could you imagine they airy your Chin Pao at them and they get rid of your rare
Take 2
candies.
superior energies. Yeah.
Or no, I was thinking with this, they can get rid of your ace
Rare
spec,
candies.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they
that's what I'm
spec.
saying.
I mean, they're an item, right, and not its own category.
Yeah, but I think you play something like this in the Snorlax stall deck.
I think I saw it in Snorlax stall because I didn't want to
See,
say
that's a
Like,
tool.
it was.
You didn't want to.
yes,
you don't want to bring
item.
attention to it, so people play it.
I think I can't stand it. Those stall decks make me cry, as they should. And of course, I picked a stall deck kind of for the deck I want to look at. But
So,
yeah,
what
this
is she
definitely-
wearing?
I don't know. It
And I
looked
don't know
like
how the rules. You guys need to know. I know about it more
sports
with
top.
other games.
with a tie. and
Can
like
you
a
can't write
fade.
down an opponent's hand in this game, right?
I mean, you could theoretically write down whatever notes you want. They're
Yeah,
not.
but it just
you're
has
not
to
gonna-
be legible that the judges can read it, and you can't take like very much time. So, if
So I know in
Yes.
other games, if I look at opponent's hand, I can like shorthand like when they reveal their hand. Okay,
you
let
could
me
do
write
like
down.
E for Eerie, R for rare candy, and
Sure,
like
yeah.
like just jot down a bunch of notes to yourself.
Sure. I
Yeah.
hate that too. I don't want to do that, but if I'm grinding a sweaty regionals,
be ready for Eerie.
yeah, it's just I was like that with, gosh, Eno or Ino or whatever you said
Iono.
like that. Yeah, I'm like, oh man, it was everywhere.
Listen, that's how I lost my my one match at my local league challenge last weekend.
So, Lane, did you want to talk about your deck?
Great Tusk.
Great Tusk.
So what I think about this Great Tusk deck, actually, can you? I can kind of pull it up here on my end, but I want to read what Great Tusk does
Okay.
because I've had up.
Yeah, we
there-
need to know what it does because clearly
If you don't
there's
have it,
more
I
of
have it.
Okay, put it up because mine just refreshed.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, Great Tusk, 140 HP for a basic for 2 colorless energy, Earth Blast. Discard a card from the top of your opponent's deck. If you played an Ancient Supporter card from your hand this turn, discard 3 more cards. The Giant Fangs, double fighting, double colorless, does not matter, but for 160. I think this is going to be the next cute Wug Trio Mill. I think this is going to be, maybe it looks better than...
I think it looks better in Wug Trio. I don't as good as Durant though. Durant Mill was fun.
I think this deck is also going to be cheap.
Yeah.
I think, like, already looking at it, it's going to be like $30, like maximum at pre-order
Yeah,
price.
let's go back to the list.
I know Radiant Greninja is a little bit right now, but I think that's where almost all your. It's according to how much the cape's going to be for your ace spec.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a less played card.
Yeah, out of all of them we've looked at, that's not the one I've seen.
I mean, there's nothing in here that's like this will be a cheap deck.
Sure.
Yeah, there's something in here that jumps out to me like, oh, it's gonna be money.
I know Radiant Greninja went up a few bucks, but like Comfy's got
I don't
a
know.
like.
I'm actually really worried about those fighting energies.
Yeah, you got to use the special secret ones.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be like, because I think Clump was like this. It was like a haha, man, this deck's weird, and then it started like putting up numbers, and you're like, oh, and then you're seeing it in regional top 8s, and you're like, man, this thing's weird. People are like took the memes to the extreme. But yeah, this is definitely one I would play on day one because you're not wasting a lot of your stuff on live or like, I guess, real life money too if you want to buy it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not crafting EXs or stuff that doesn't matter, right? You're not spending your was it gyms, whatever the thing is, and you don't have to do too much, and you've got this deck to have around. Like you probably already have a majority of it, right? Like new cards is not a lot.
Yeah, there's not a ton of new cards.
Yeah, and like this begs the question: do a lot of decks start playing? If they didn't play Super Odd, they should be playing Super Odd, and because there's potential for you to lose your supporters if you rely on your supporters, like this deck does. They're playing 2 Pal Pad and 2 Super Odd, so it's like, do you play a 1-1 split just to get stuff back? If you're not playing this deck, like just to be prepared, but like then it's a dead card if you don't need them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think there's like when I tried when I was doing more of your guys' tournaments, like the Brave Wings or whatever, like this is your gimmicky, like, oh, just try it for a little bit and see what happens and wait for the meta to get figured out just a little bit if you don't want to blow the budget. Gosh, it does look sick though.
It does. Unfortunately, it looks sick.
Unfortunately, it looks sick.
I wish it didn't look good.
I've never played a mill deck or tried to.
They're I've mostly played it like in like friends and like small like tournament style settings and not like, and I've played it I guess a few times on the ladder, but man, Durant Mill was like sword and shield base. So it's been a hot minute.
I was gonna say I don't even remember playing against it too much because I was, of course, like I told you, the sweaty ADP during that time, just Zacian V people. So I don't remember too much Durant, but maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since it really saw play.
I do have a deck, like Torterra EX reminded me a lot of like that Rillaboom, or not Rillaboom V, but close to it, the Rillaboom decks. And what was it? It was Alolan Executor and Rowlet tag team. It just, according to how much grass I support, that was actually my runner-up for like the card I wanted to talk about.
All right. Should we do another round of talking about cards that you like?
Yes.
Can we start with Torterra?
We can start with Torterra.
Let's start with Torterra. But we have to go. We have to go and look at its other forms too. Let's look at the Turtwig first off, because this is the better Turtwig. Ability Solid Shell. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance.
Look how cute it is.
Oh my goodness.
That also works on the bench too, in case anyone's wondering.
Oh. Yeah.
And then Sprigatito's favorite attack, Leafage.
Yeah. Man, what a terrible attack.
This Grottle is actually it's good, but it's not the one you want to use.
What's the one you want to use?
The one with the ability that lets you search for a grass Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. I don't remember what set that's from.
I don't either. So I just.
But it's not this set. We're just saying don't play this one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could even just play one. It has 120 hit points, which is actually pretty good. And then Ramming Shell, 50 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage. So effectively, you're just trying to not put a lot of damage on you.
And then, all right, Torterra EX. Who wants to talk about it?
I will. 340 HP, 1 grass. It is Forest March. 30 damage. This attack does 30 damage for each grass Pokemon you have in play. Jungle Hammer for 1 grass and 2 colorless. 150 damage and heal 50 to this. What I also like about this too is the weakness. We've been talking about weakness a lot, and this is fire times 2. But a lot of the things we've also looked at today have grass weaknesses as well. That some of the things that we've been popping up have been having grass. Because I'm telling you, I've been thinking about Torterra EX. Because I think it's beefy. It's got some stuff to it.
It's got the 4 retreat, which means you can play Baton Pass.
Also, go to Rabaska, or I think that's what it's called. Because this is just saying
R-E-B. Nope.
RAB.
A-B. Aha.
So this is also a grass Pokemon that you could play, and it has the ability. So it evolves from Relor, and it has 70 hit points. So it's small hit points, but it says ability Spherical Shield. Prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to your bench Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So this is also grass, but you can protect your grass with this. You know,
I see what you did there.
I think it's just a little different. I really like stuff like this.
But I like the fact that you can use Grotle to go search for a grass Pokemon, evolve this thing as fast as possible. You can use TM Evo.
Also,
and
what
evolve
is
2
happening
Pokemon.
here in this image? Is that like an egg? I thought it was a dung beetle.
But Rabasco holds its larva or something in its shell.
Oh. And then this one has the poop.
That one has the poop. They could have got really fun with the name for that too.
And they just chose Relor
Yeah.
and Rabska.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of grass love in this one, which I mean,
There is, and there's a lot of grass Pokemon that have abilities that do things. I think Torterra is the sleeper. I think that's the sleeper because
it makes you want to look back at other sets and be like, okay,
you could play Serena. You could play the
also,
Serena Radiant.
I also really like this one. It looks like there's a bonsai tree on his back.
Yep,
the full art.
But it has 340 hit points.
It's a good bit.
What's the cape? What's the cape do, Justin? The tool.
The cape. Not that. Hero's Cape. This Pokemon gets plus 100 HP.
Geesh.
You could make it 440.
And imagine trying to knock that. Oh my gosh. That's one mountain you can't climb. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we don't have any ways to recycle tools or bring them out of the discard, right?
No, I've been thinking about it. That's what I've been trying to think, and I couldn't think of any tools. Is tool scrapper? Or no, that's the. There was some.
There was that supporter where you used to be able to pull stuff out. I can't think of what it is. But people used to play it so that you can like do like an infinite loop type.
And I know Pokemon pretty well. That's not something they want.
Yeah. So, but I think that was older format. I don't think it's still in format.
So we've covered a bunch of things that I think really shake this format up so much.
Do you want to see just a card that I just want in my collection right now?
Yes. Because Justin, this podcast is about collecting and competing.
At this Ghastly.
Oh my goodness.
It is incredible.
It weird that the Gengar is like licking his butt and he's like, what are you doing there?
Well, yes, but Ghastly doesn't have a butt. The Meowth is like peeking around the corner.
Terrified.
And there's, the Ghastly. There's a horde of Ghastlies. There's some Haunters, a couple of Gengars.
Wow.
Incredible.
A nighttime scape.
Click on the Lickitung.
I really hope I didn't want you to say that.
Oh, what is happening?
Look at it. And then it's got a blue tongue.
From the snow cones.
Oh, is it frozen? It's stuck to the snow cone.
Oh, gosh.
That's terrible. But
I just think that also they could have done a better job image-wise.
Also, okay, we're just gonna go through a bunch of these.
This one's fantastic. Look at these chat tots.
They're so cool. There's so many of them, and it's a musical note. I heard that it sets up the musical note for the chat tots like little chime, like it's sound.
I hope that's right because now I want to tell everyone that.
Well, listen.
Who was that? It was. I heard it from Danny Phantom.
Can you pull up Squawkabilly? Because the alt art for Squawkabilly is that similar? It's not in this set. It's the EX.
Wait, Squawkabilly in this set, or you mean a different set?
In a different set. Just because I wanted to see what.
Side note, Adam, I know you love Arbok.
Oh, that's sick.
Ooh.
Wait, it's
look
gonna
at
eat that
Cinccino.
Toucannon. I'm out. It's not one to be its friend.
Arbok.
I've never seen an Arbok actually look like a snake like this.
Yeah, it normally just looks kind of derpy.
Yeah, like on the ground. I've never seen it like in the trees.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job about like, a day in the life type. Okay.
I'm sure it's just gonna ask that Toucannon to be a friend.
Could you guys hear my my dog? He's like growling in the corner. He's like, "Let me out of this room."
Not at all.
He's being a little grumpy pants. Anyways, what was I looking up? Squawkabilly.
Yeah, maybe I was just grasping at straws here.
Firmly grasp it.
Yeah.
Firmly grasp it. Okay, here we go. Squawkabilly.
Okay, yeah, I was grasping at straws. I thought that it would look similar, but they're just not on power lines. They're on houses, and they just are angry at each other.
$12. What a weird card. Played in everything.
Yeah. I can't remember if I ever bought this card or not. I was going to, and then I don't know if I ever did.
Just
Roseanne's backup. Luditonian in the chat says Roseanne's backup. Type that into TCG Player. See if that's still in format.
Oh gosh, that's a brick of text.
This is
gosh.
No, that's out.
It's F.
It's F.
Oh wait. Oh, it's F. Oh, ABC.
Brilliant Stars.
It's
Okay.
Brilliant Stars.
Oh man, shuffle from your discard pile into your deck.
So this is not the card I was thinking of, but you can shuffle a tool from your discard pile with this
You can
card.
choose one or more. Shuffle a Pokemon tool, a stadium, and an energy. It
you show me
doesn't
the
say a
alt
basic
adjustment?
energy. You could use Neo Upper Energy more than once.
Yeah. But
You just solved the format. No, that's actually crazy.
Isn't it? But like, I feel like this card has never seen play.
One or
hasn't.
more is good though. Like or more, like
Yeah. No, it definitely seems good. I just don't understand why it's not played.
because we don't have ace specs yet, you turd.
Yeah, now that we have
Touche.
ace specs, tools
Touche.
are going back in, energies are going back in. Just think of like a stage 2 deck that's playing Neo Upper Energy. I don't know.
I'm
have to look at
discarding
this
from
stuff.
Raging Bolt, Raikou, old guy, and needing to get my energy back, or one of them, in my ace spec. That's how I'm going to do it.
There we go. Solved. Was there any more cards you guys want to talk about for ability wise, or
do you guys just buy? How do you guys do day one? Just you personally? Do you like open all your packs? Do you get codes? Like
I buy them before day one, and then I don't buy anything for like 3 days, and I watch the market crash on all the cards, and then I buy the cards I want.
That's physically, yeah.
I kind of like, I'm a wait and see type. It depends. If I'm like, I'm kind of emotional about it. So like, if I'm like really into it and like, oh, I need all these things, or like, oh, okay, I want to play this deck at locals next week. I kind of need this card. Or because like some of my
you get
locals,
your 2 weeks, which is good, right? Like your 2 weeks.
Some of mine are going to start playing this next week, but they're going to say we allow proxies for cards you don't have.
I always try to get like my 500 codes like either up front or like soon after, because they used to hit like $1 a piece. Now they're getting back down to like 20 cents, and just trying everything.
Yeah,
but I feel like rotation's always the most fun. Like rotation is the hype for me.
Yeah, because it's like old things can be refreshed. There's new cards. A lot of the old gatekeepers are gone. It's
and
the
people that have been playing Mew VMAX for the past 3 years is finally finally
get off the ladder.
Yeah.
Get off the ladder.
Next year, I think it's going to be the big rotation. That's the one I'm really looking forward to, honestly.
Because
Lost Box stuff. I have such a loathing, like just a hate.
Yeah, but you're going to be saying the same thing about Ancient Box.
Well, because it goes in
because we're going to get more Ancient stuff, and we're going to get more Future stuff.
Like Lost Box stuff just goes in Like even though some of the lists we looked today played like a Comfy or a, like you said, or like if it plays a Vacuum or a Lost Vacuum, like it can go in everything, and it's still probably still one of the best one prize decks. If not, we had people buying all their Giratinas ready, like they're switching over from you to
the
Giratina. Like
Lost Vacuum is important though, since we don't have. I don't know. There's not like a lot of stadiums you really want to play right now that aren't like mutually beneficial to the other person.
Yeah, and there's also there's tons of tools on both opposing sides.
Yeah, and you want to get rid of those
take
tools.
Care of. You need to take care of them
because there's no tool scrapper.
No tool scrapper.
I know, sad day.
But I don't know. Tell us what you think about Temporal Forces. Send us pictures of your pulls. Let us know what you get. We're gonna sign off because Good Morning Johto still has to have a show, and we don't want to keep Lane too long. Just really quickly, we want to shout out to our executive producer Tish Smith for being awesome for all this time. We really appreciate you. Check out PokemonProfessor.com for links to everywhere you can connect with us, grab some merch, leave us reviews, send us an email, specialconditions@PokemonProfessor.com. You can send us a voicemail, text us, send us pictures, 732-835-8639. Lane, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at GMJoto. You can check out Good Morning Johto every single Monday through Friday. We are a weekday, 10 to 15 minute-ish daily show, mostly on Pokemon Go. And in the second half, we'll cover a lot of TCG. This week, we've had some guests, but we'll continue on our market watch for rotating sets that are going out and what cards you may want to buy or may want to mostly buy. I wouldn't sell any rotations right now that are too big. But that's what we've been covering, and I always say a little bit of VGC, and we had someone on from the VGC community this week to teach me a little bit about it, because that's one thing I know nothing of. You can send us an email as well. We got a free Discord, everything. Just your normal stuff, but mostly on Twitter and our Monday through Friday show.
Wonderful.
Cool.
All right. Justin, you got anything?
That's it.
That's it? All right. Remember, trainers, if you're affected by a special condition, don't forget to use a full heal.
Good night.
Have a great night.